From our network studios in Lagos, Nigeria, we welcome you back to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television, and now to our main conversation for today. A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress wants Nigeria to adopt a unicameral legislative system to reduce cost of governance.
Abiodun Salami, a former Assistant Publicity Secretary of the APC party in Lagos State, advised that Nigeria should petition bicameral legislature and adopt a unicameral legislature to save costs, especially at a time when the country was bleeding economically.
Very true. Salami noted that those who questioned how unicameral legislature would work with a presidential system of government only needed to look at other countries where the same arrangement had succeeded.
He added that with 109 senators and 360 members of the Federal House of Representatives, the cost of maintenance of each chamber in the 4 years is not just very expensive, but grossly unnecessary.
Very true. And still with us in the studios to do justice to this segment is still with us in the studios, Emeka Madunago and Barrister Frank Sofeli. Thank you, gentlemen, for hanging around. I'd love to direct this question particularly to Barrister Frank Sofeli because this is your area of strength, particularly. The bicameral legislature established under Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution was taken or modeled from the Federal Congress of the United States of America. The question is, why would a British colony adopt a system from America?
Well, once you have sovereignty, when you have independence as a country, it's the country's prerogative to decide the kind of legislation it wants to give unto itself. That is why you see the Constitution talk about the fact that we, the people of Nigeria, even though they do not call us, have given to ourselves this Constitution. Section 4 of that Constitution says there shall be two houses in the legislature. There shall be a legislature of two houses, the upper house and the lower house. Okay, one with 109 senators and the other with 300. And so that is the law. Okay, but the question should be, is the composition of Nigeria, the way Nigeria is presently constituted, with our economic upheavals and the challenges of the states in terms of the economy, is it still necessary to maintain that system of government where you have two houses? And my question is that, you see, whatever the lower house, does or do, is enough for a country like Nigeria. I don't see anything they are filtering through the two houses. So a unicameral legislature is just fine and okay for Nigeria. You don't need to. In fact, I would even say that from the state level, it's not just unicameral legislature we need. We also need to shrink all the states into regions. I have 6 regions. Each region will be represented by just 1 or 2 lawmakers. And then we should maintain one house. That way, you would have, in America, they have 52 states or 51 states. How many members do we have in the parliament? Okay, so even the American type democracy we copied it wrongly.
How?
Yeah, we copied it wrongly because they have 2 houses there, we have 2 houses there. But when you check the number, especially the House of Rep here, when you check the number of people, you understand, and compare it with that of the US, you will see the difference. Okay, so I just think they just use that section 4 of the Constitution to create a job for the boys, created a lot of anything for politicians. So we must come to a point where we'll tinker with that law. And the very difficult thing about the Nigerian democracy is that you need the legislature to amend that constitution to take themselves out. You don't understand? Most of the drastic changes we've had in Nigeria are changes that we have done through military regime, like the creation of states. Creation of
local government.
Yes, creation of local government. If it were to be under democracy, You see the one that Ugo Chinye removed for Olu State. You see that thing? That is it. That when I started reading newspaper that one state they want to, that bill have not gone anywhere. When you say first reading means you just introduce the bill to the house. That's what first reading means. If it survives second reading, it will take God's grace for that thing to survive. So I'm just telling you when it will be thrown out. If it gets to committee stage, it's a miracle. You understand what I'm saying? So because what do you have? Can Ugo Chinyere from his political party muster enough strength to lobby? And our lobby in Nigeria is money. Where is he going to see to spread it across all of them to get the vote that he needs to push that thing? So I don't want to go into the dynamics of this, but I'm saying that we need one house. That one house can actually cater for all legislative, for lawmaking, and all we need legislatively. One house can handle it. Because what you did not go a duplicating function. When a bill arises from the lower house, whether they will take it to the upper house will work on it. Then they will not take it for local state house of assemblies concurrence before the bill begin to get breath of life. So not only that it creates legislative bottleneck, it also creates serious instability and slow down government proceedings. So we need one house.
Yeah, thank you, Barrister Felix. Now, you made the comment, you said most of the changes that we've seen, even the creation of state, was during the military regime. Do you think that is the only way this can actually pave way and this idea can actually be birthed into?
I have not said that's the only way, but that would mean suggesting for military.
Yeah.
Nobody should. Any right-thinking person will not ever. It's a reference to the effect that if you look at, you've gone through the 10 million bridge before.
Yes.
Is there any project in Nigeria currently that is as huge as that 10 million bridge that have been completed in Nigeria? But you know what the military did? They just take green biro and write a fiat, go and do that project. And when the contractors get to do the work, they'll be showing you live bullets, ammunition. Go and do that road. They'll be showing it to you. And they'll call the CBN governor. You will be there as a contractor. They ask you how much you need. They give you that money and show you bullets. Don't go and do it. Because that's fiat. By force. You must do it. But if it were to be under democracy, that bill, that bridge, they will sit down and begin to. In fact, the money involved cannot even be approved by a minister. They have to take it through FEC. FEC will have to deliberate on it. They can shoot it down there. They can do anything they want to do this. That's why you don't have. So, at the risk of not sounding like military rule is better, it's not better. But I'm telling you that most of the projects that we've had, radical projects that we've had in Nigeria, have come through that way. Democracy is systemic, is good, is for the people. That is what the people need, and that's what we should sustain. But however, if we will sustain democracy, let's take the option that will reduce time and that will give us efficiency and speed.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Thank you, Barrister Felix. Okay, moving back to you, Emeka. Now, Mr. Salami said that the Senate and House of Representatives should be merged. Then the number of legislatures prone to have a single chamber legislature. And he made a strategic comment, or he made a very vital comment. He said, operating the House of Representatives and the Senate together is a burden on the country's resources. Now, this is one important reason, but do you think is enough reason to now adopt and dump the bicameral legislature, saying it's wasteful?
Well, the point is, whatever will advance democracy, to my mind, is welcome. The issue of cost shouldn't actually be a problem if we have responsible and patriotic people in power. You understand? You might have a unicameral legislature and we'll be back to the same problem. All they don't need to do, first of all, just permit me to digress a little. The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission should be scrapped because it amounts to injustice to have two different organizations prescribing salaries in one country. You have the National Income, Wages and Salaries Commission, then you have the RMAFC. It's a duplication of functions. There should just be one body drawing our policies for government in terms of salaries, wages, and incomes. So RMAFC should be said, because that's where we had the problem. One of their former DGs or whatever they call it, whatever they call it, whoever is in charge of that place, he was in the habit of just inflating these things. Oh, he was the one that brought in hardship allowance in 2002. Oh, that the president and vice president, that the effort they put into making policies,
hardship is too much.
Blah blah blah. First of all, they said it was president and vice president, governor, deputy governor. Then gradually they brought in
the lawmakers.
Gradually they brought in judiciary. Tell me, who is paying me hardship allowance for running my home or for doing anything? So you see, that body needs to be scrapped. Because it is through that body that you see all these humongous allowances and salaries that should not be there in the first place. Let me tell you something. If you have just one body, advising government on salaries, and many people will not go into politics. I'm just telling you. Okay, if it's minimum wage, all we just say, okay, fine. A senator, a member of House of Reps should be on level 14. I think level 14 is the administrative cap in the civil service.
But it's like that in some countries.
Then, if you now go beyond level 14, you now become a political officer. So it's about a tenure now. Your position is tenure 15, 16, 17 is tenure. So if you do it like that, level 14, it's so fine. Oh, we don't want minimum wage. Okay, minimum wage can be 10,000 naira. All of us will earn it like that. So when it is across the board, you will see all these things. You want to save money, there will be money for projects, there will be money for everything. And let me tell you, all of us will now begin to think of how to make the society better for all of us. When lawmaker, I visited the US Congress in 2001, and honestly, a lot of the big names I've been seeing on CNN and all of that, I came across them.
They don't have money.
I came across them on the streets. The hallways of the US Congress. John Kerry, name them, big names. You see them on the streets. Hello, Congressman. Hello, Senator. You can check hands with them.
Yes.
These are people who,
they carry their bags themselves.
They carry their bags themselves. They don't have any aids or anything. The only thing that government gives them is that the houses they occupy. There are some perks. But you know what? There are some of them that sleep in the offices. You can't imagine. Congressmen, because it's expensive to rent, as of 2001, to rent a duplex.
In Washington,
a two-bedroom duplex was over $1 million per annum. And you are getting it from your allowances. It's not as if government is going to pay you anything. It's from what you're going to pay for it. So when you look at it, your aides, and you can recruit your aides, no problem. If you like, bring your grandfather and your grandmother as your aide. That's your problem. Because there is a cap on what you earn. So there is no woo-woo, maybe you
kickback.
Kickback. You don't have all those things. So that's why you see some of them sleeping in the offices. You can imagine, and congressmen.
That's why there's money for projects.
So, money for projects. So there's money for everything. See, if we can stop deceiving ourselves, all these honorable, distinguished, when these people leave office, they're just ordinary people. They're ordinary people. So the point is this: also we the people should decide, what do we want? Is it the peanuts? Is it the pittances that people drop for you? Somebody comes and says, I'm doing empowerment, and he shares bags of garri, shares bags of rice, he shares grinding machines and all that. All of those, that empowerment, anytime you hear anybody doing empowerment, they are stealing money. It's an avenue for stealing.
That's why they bring camera to video it and all that.
So legislators, this constituency allowance is another area for criminal diversion of public funds. It must be scrapped. There should be nothing like constituency allowance. Because you have the federal government, you have the state government, you have the local government. In between them, there should be project execution. What is the business of the legislature in project execution? So for me, it is that I think we should even look beyond whether we are having unicameral or bicameral. One funny thing with Nigerians is this: if you move this stick up this way, Nigerians will always find a way to even make matters worse than when it was here. We are very adept at that. So the point is, let us make this democracy work. Let us remove the excess flesh. Let us make sure that, you see, agencies that duplicate functions are scrapped. Then let everybody go through the same routes of income and wages. You'll find out that, you know what, it will no longer be business as usual. And then, that's why, for instance, in some countries, you see women are gaining ascendancy because women have more time. You understand? Women have more time to go into politics in some countries. Men are running away. You get, but how much is there? I'll take care of my wife and children. So they dodge, go into business and professions. So the women have enough time to go into politics. After taking the children to school, they have so much time. So they go into politics, they become prime minister, president. Look at many countries now.
Mexico.
Women. There's even a country that has, so many women in legislature. Why? So those are the realities, whether we like it or not. If we don't do these things ourselves, the dynamics of society will force us into it. You will see a time will come. I hope it's in our lifetime. You will see a time will come. Men will start running away from politics.
Yes.
It's women that will have.
Let's hand over everything to women.
Housewives will start running politics. Because if you look at what is available to you, maybe they put a politician on 100,000 naira a month, and you look at your wife, look at your children, house rent and all that. You run away from politics now. It's only a housewife who has enough time on her hand. 100,000 at all. She will collect it, and she will do well.
All right, so let's look at this. The beauty of bicameral legislature is restraint for majority. Of course, that happens through deadlock. Usually when the two chambers do not agree on one particular thing because the influential party is taking, a larger chunk of the meat. Now, just like Emeka did say, is this a question of transitioning from bicameral to unicameral legislature, or is it a function of transparency of those who are making these laws happen? Because you know that the voting system we have in Nigeria is FPTB, first past the post, and with gerrymandering, which of course still influences majority taking the vote. Don't you think this will equally carry over to a unicameral legislature if we eventually have it?
No, it will not carry over. It will not carry over. If first you are disbanding one, you now have one. The one you have, you ensure that one protects the interests of the larger society. Okay? So if there is a bill that is not for the general good of all, that is self-serving and all that, parliamentarians should be able to bring it to its knee. You understand? And make sure they vote against it. But here, what we have is, we have two houses. When a bill springs up from the house, even when it benefits the larger society and to strengthen society, you find them voting against it. 2018, the house then, Ike Koromado was still there at that time, and they took the issues one after the other for constitutional amendments, affirmative action, the not too young to run, the devolution of power, put them in different bill. You understand? When it got to devolution of power, almost 90% of the House members voted against it. Some of them were indifferent, didn't vote. You understand? This originally is why you voted them, so that they can go and make laws for the good governance of, that's section 4 of the Constitution, says that the responsibility of the legislature to make laws for the good governance of Nigeria. Devolution of power was to strengthen Nigeria. It was a law that was meant for the people to be able to manage their resources, the states to manage their resources. But these people went and voted against it. So it's not just reducing it to one house. Even if you have one house, you may still not have progress. It's to have lawmakers who understand their role and their duty. That even if this bill will in the long run scrap us away, for the general good of society, a lawmaker should be altruistic, should be able to make a law that will help society to become better, even if it's at the expense of his own office. But here you will not find that, because people are selfish and people want to ensure that the gap between the have and the have not is widened the more. So until we get to that point where we find people who really want the society to grow, if we reduce it to unicameral, we can even decide to scrap the two houses away. We'll still not get to where we're going to go to until we actually have those who are ready for that work.
You know, so let me just quickly check. In the Second Republic, we had 5 senators. It was the military that came in between and reduced it to 3 senators. So, like somebody said, from 5 to 3. What about if we just close our eyes and there is no Senate anymore? What will happen? Maybe we just enlarge the House of Representatives. Maybe reduce some federal constituencies and put in some more reps so that every place will be covered. Then, so let's see what the future holds.
Very true. Just like what we say, transparency is what it is. If we do not have a transparency, even the best of supposed leaders might not really lead the leader well. Very true. And that's just about the time we have for our segment today. We'd love to say thank you to Vice Chieftain for being part of our show. And
Thank you.
Thank you so very well also being part of the show. Well, that's just about the size of our package today. I'd love to say thank you so very much for being part of it. Please do want to visit our website at www.enterprisetv.com, like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry.
I am Choma for here.
On behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching and bye-bye for us.
Yeah, bye for now.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.